Our next inductee is Casie Kinman Onken. Please turn your attention to the video boards.
Casie Kinman Onken, softball, 1998 to 2002. Casie Kinman Onken was a 4-year letter winner for the softball team, playing from the 1999 through the 2002 season. Kinman Onken helped guide the Bruins to 3 MCAC regular season championships, 3 MCAC tournament championships, and an appearance in the 2000 NAIA National Tournament, where the Bruins won their first ever game at the national tournament. She posted a career batting average of .343 and was named the Bellevue University Athlete of the Year in 2001-2002. As of the 2022 season, she's still ranked on the career list in several categories, including 8th in career doubles, 14th in career hits, 17th in career extra base hits and batting average, 18th in career total bases, 22nd in career slugging percentage, and 24th in career on-base percentage. After earning her degree from Bellevue in physical education, she went on to earn her teaching certificate from Peru State College before earning master's degrees from both the University of Nebraska-Omaha and Northern State University. She has stayed involved in the softball world with 13 years of coaching experience at the high school level. Casie and her husband Tim Onken have 3 sons, Zach, Chase, and Max. Her sisters Whitney and Caitlin also played softball for the Bruins, and her brother Kyle was a standout baseball player at BU.
I recruited Casie to join us on the softball team, and her first year was 1999. And like all of them, she was a scared little freshman, being surrounded by quite an interesting group of players we had back then. So that's how I got to know Casie through the recruiting process, and of course she played for me for 4 years.
Casie was a gritty player, and Casie was the type of player who never took a play off. I remember Casie as a player very well because she was in a unique position of coming in as an underclassman with a class of 10 seniors. And she was on the field, and she knew she belonged on the field, and she stayed there. And sometimes with a pitching staff with some bold personalities and much older, she handled herself quite well. And those are the things I remember as Casie as a player. She was younger, but she stepped right up and fit right in, and we respected her as a catcher.
Casie was a good student, okay, that part was very easy. As an athlete, she was a very hard worker, and Casie was probably one of the most cerebral players I've ever had. She was a real student of the game. I always kind of likened her like a sponge. She just wanted to soak in all kinds of knowledge about the game, and it's really paid off for her. She's now the head coach of Bellevue East High School. Casie was one of the very few catchers I had that were allowed to call their own game, call their own pitches for the pitchers. She was just that good, and yeah, that's Casie.
I do remember being on the field with Casie, and Casie called her own pitches. And it just goes to show her knowledge of the game. 2 senior pitchers trusted her to call the pitches, to call the game, and we left that in her hands. And that's a big responsibility, especially for an underclassman. And she handled it, and she handled us, and it just goes to show what kind of player Casie was. She wasn't just a hard-nosed ball player, but she was a smart ball player. And that's the kind of person you want behind the plate when you're pitching.
Casie was 2 times on the All-MCAC team. That was the Midlands Collegiate Athletic Conference. In her senior year, she was put on the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association All-Regional team, which is really quite an honor. That was not one of our better years, but even though we did win the conference that year, and a lot of that was due to Casie and her leadership. Her senior year, Casie was a true team leader. The younger players really looked up to her. She was like a coach on the field for us. Just her whole demeanor was very businesslike all the time, although she had a great sense of humor. She's a very heady player, and she would point things out to me. And being a head coach, sometimes I was pretty stubborn. she was one of the few players I actually listened to when she had some comments or things she wanted to point out and bring to my attention. And so I always appreciated that about Casie.
Casie's worthy of the Hall of Fame recognition because of her passion for the game. I would say a lot is what she gives back to the community now as well. Casie's a coach now herself. She's giving back to the game. And she's a great positive role model for young women that I think we need more of. And I'm really, really glad that Casie's still here in Bellevue, giving back to our community. Casie, whether she was a ball player or a coach or just a person and a mother, she really does exemplify what it means to be a Bruin. And she could not be more deserving of this recognition. Casie, congratulations on your induction. Myself and all the Bruins and alumni and staff were also proud of you, and we're glad you are here, and we hope you have a great evening.
Casie, again, this is a well-deserved award. I enjoyed having you play for me. You were extremely coachable. You were very intelligent. Again, it's paid off, as I can tell how well you've done at East. Coaching that team, look at how many of your players we have on our current roster from Bell East, and that's a credit to you. And this award is probably long overdue, and congratulations.
Please welcome Casie Kinman Onken, Hall of Fame member.
Thank you, guys. I wasn't nervous, and now all of a sudden I kind of am a little bit. But I guess I just want to start by saying, thank you to everyone who felt that, recognizing me and that I had enough impact on the Bellevue community and at BU athletics amongst so many amazing athletes to be recognized with this honor. Truly, it really is an honor, and thank you. I want to say thank you to my mom and Brian and my dad, who also played here years ago, and Starla for all the support over all these years. I've got to reach out to all my brothers and sisters. There's lots of us. Thank you to all of them that were able to make it. Adam and Emmy, thanks for being here. Whitney, who also played at BU and is a BU alum. Caitlin, also a BU alum. Love it. So many of us. My sister Bree and Joe, that both were able to come tonight. And my amazing baseball player of a brother, Kyle, who unfortunately is out playing baseball right now. So he's playing somewhere, I don't even know where tonight. So, but it's just, there's a lot of us, and thank all of you guys for being here. And I'm kind of hoping that, Kelly, after knowing me for 24 years, that you might pass the quiz on that, knowing who my brothers and sisters are and in what order here shortly. Also, thank you to my husband, Tim, and the boys for being here. Zach, Chase, and Max. They've gone to probably 1 million softball games on my journey of both playing and coaching, including a game today. We were already at a game today. In fact, Tim and I just celebrated our 20-year anniversary with the trip to Arizona this past week. Our anniversary is actually September 7th, but I'm pretty sure every year for the last 20 years, I coach a game on September 7th, so including this year, so we decided we'd try to sneak it in a little bit early. I actually wrote this speech yesterday morning, 5 minutes before the golf tournament. It's the only time I'd had to even do it or even think about it, but it wasn't difficult for me to write it because I always knew if I was given this opportunity, I just knew what I would say. I've always felt like I found myself at Bellevue. I just always have. Playing softball here and going to school was the first time I truly felt like I belonged and that these were my people and this was my home. And I have to smile to see so many people that I played with or coached with or against in the audience tonight. It makes me so happy. Many of my former players, like Coach Lahotek said, are now playing here at Bellevue, and it's just amazing, and I can't wait to watch them grow, and they did great this season. All of them and everybody that is still involved with BU athletics, it just shows that true love for softball and that true love for the game, and that love is there the way that I've always loved the game, and that's what makes this place home, and it always has. Although I knew I always wanted to play softball in college, and I was hoping that I was good enough, I really wasn't really sure where I was going to play. I didn't really know how to advocate for myself as far as who do I contact? Do I reach out? Do coaches find you? Am I on the right team? And all that stuff. I've always believed in the softball gods. You know, the ones that allow that bunt to stay fair in the bottom of the seventh, or the ones that the sun shines just right when your opponent's trying to catch that routine fly ball with 2 outs and you miraculously win the game. Or the gods that put that magic in your bat when you're called into pinch hit freshman year at regionals against the Red Raiders with 2 outs and runners at second, third, down by 1. I truly believe the softball gods were looking out for me and found a way for me to get to play at Bellevue and to play for Ed Lahotek. I was told before I was recruited that I was an Ed Lahotek type of player. I was like, okay, I have no idea what that means. But thank you, I guess. After coming here and after playing for BU and playing for Ed, and now after coaching for over 13 years, I know what it means. It means play hard, love the game, strategize, and don't stress the BS. It's all about the game, the dubs, and expecting the unexpected. Thinking about the game 4 batters ahead and knowing what you will do depending on if the count is a 2-1 or a 1-2. I loved playing for Ed. He was like a second dad to me. I always tried to ride in the front seat, in the front seat of the van, so that we could reminisce about every single play, every single game on the way home. And yes, for all of you younger players, we took vans everywhere. You guys definitely have it nice now. Ed, I just could not thank you enough for everything that you taught me and for taking a chance on me. And thank you for telling me I should become a coach, because I have loved every minute of coaching. Thank you for that. Now, one of the things I was not expecting after playing softball and going to school was that at some point you have to graduate. I remember sitting with Coach Mosser, the next person I have to thank, and him sitting down with me and reviewing my credits for classes and telling me if I take 27 hours this year and 6 in the summer and 24, I would graduate next May. I was like, what? I was like, graduate? I was like, then what? I was like, you mean I can't play softball forever? I was like, well, crap, what am I going to do now? And Coach Mosser said, you should look into teaching and you should become a teacher. I truly, to be honest with you, did not think that that was my future. I really didn't. Coaching, yes. Teaching, not so much. But I honestly didn't really have a lot of other ideas. I really wasn't sure where I wanted to go even still. And Mosser told me I should look into possibly being a para. Didn't even know what that was. Okay, fine. Looked into that. It's kind of like a teacher aide for those of you that don't know, but I did listen to him. I went back to school, got my teaching certification. I loved being a para, working with the kids, having fun. I mean, it was just so great to watch them grow. I'm just really convinced that Coach Mosser probably saw that in me, that is something that I could do before I knew it myself. And once I had that first teaching job and coaching job, which, by the way, he also helped me get, who would have thought that I'd be starting already my 19th year on Monday in education, which is pretty crazy. It's definitely been the right path for me, and I just got to say thank you, Coach, for helping me to find that path. And as a coach and a school counselor now, I truly try to direct my own students and players towards their paths, as I was fortunate to have you help me direct me through mine. Thank you. I honestly, to be honest with you guys, I could stay up here and tell story after story. Like when my first fall game, and Kelly, I just had to laugh at what you said. My first fall game was against Kearney freshman year. We were getting killed, by the way. Kelly was pitching. I was so nervous. Nice job, Kel. But it wasn't Kelly's fault. It wasn't Kelly's fault. I was so nervous that after just feeling lost calling pitches and shaking, Kelly comes in the dugout, looks at me, and she says, "If I shake you off, do not call that same pitch again." I was dying. I was like, oh my God, you're right. It was so embarrassing. I felt like a complete idiot. Needless to say, I never made that mistake again. Maybe I did. I hope not. Or the first time I stepped into the batter's box against Carrie and struck out on 3 straight rise balls and went, holy crap, I don't even think I can play here. This is ridiculous. Or that time that Ed comes flying out of the dugout, sunglasses off. You know you're in trouble if he throws them sunglasses off. And he says, my God, this was after Jack Tipke bombed a home run over the fence. What the hell are you calling back there, Kinman? I looked at him. I said, that was a pitch out, Ed. Man, I can only call him. I can't throw him for him. I don't know what you want me to do, coach. So he did pick his sunglasses up. Mike Livergood, I got to throw a shout out to you, helping me through so many injuries. Unfortunately, you and I spent a lot of time together. My favorite, though, was always kinesiology class. I remember sleeping with that book and hoping that I wasn't called on in class to tell you the difference between pronation and supination. But we are only supposed to be given about 10 minutes here to 10 minutes to talk, so I'm pretty sure I am pretty close to that. But what I would say is thank you to all of you. Thank you for inducting me with this honor, and to Bellevue University for being my home away from home and for helping me truly find myself.